Steve Harvey calls our next guest his money maven. Now Patrice Washington is here with some tips to get your finances straight this summer. She's written a book called Real Money Answers for Every Woman, How to Win the Money Game With or Without a Man. Welcome, Patrice.
Hey, thank you
Thanks
for
coming
me.
in. Well, January, we all said, we're going to get our finances together. Here we are a few months later, and we're like, oh, I forgot we were supposed to get our finances together.
Maybe next year.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
We'll start. It's never too late to start, right?
It's never too late to start. You have to just start where you are,
Right.
but every start starts with a decision that I'm sick and tired of being in the same place year after year, and I'm ready to make a change.
Do you need somebody to help you make that change, or can you do it by yourself?
That's a tricky question.
Yeah.
Some of you who are self-motivated might be able to do it, but I really believe in using accountability partners to execute my goals. Because when you don't tell anybody that you're trying to save money or get out of debt, or you're committed to getting your credit together, then who knows if you don't do it? And that goes on year after year after year.
Should we have an emergency fund somewhere? Uh-oh.
Now, Micah.
You don't like that word?
I don't really like the term emergency fund, and here's why.
Okay.
Listen, 70% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
And we have all heard about this emergency fund or save for a rainy day. Yet most of us don't do it even when we have the income to do it, right? So I say, instead of emergency fund, a negative term that we're not really motivated by, switch that to opportunity fund, because this journey all starts in the mind, right? So you have to play a little game with yourself. Think about what goals you have. Do you want to save for a vacation or new car, or maybe start a business? Then you'll be more motivated to actually do the work to save the money.
Yeah.
Emergencies still come up though, right?
Yeah.
Because accidents don't make appointments. But if that happens, you now have an opportunity to handle it with ease and grace.
That makes more sense, and you feel a little bit better and not stressed about it. Oh, I can't use that, I can't use that.
Exactly.
No, it's when the opportunity arises. Now, let's talk a little bit about children and saving. When is it time to start telling your kids to save money?
When they come out. No.
Okay.
I think that we should start to have the conversation about money as soon as possible. As parents, we're always thinking that, oh, we're protecting them if we don't bring up this conversation. But then how many of us say, I wish someone would have told me when I was younger and I wouldn't have been in this position, right? So I say you can start having the conversation early. It doesn't have to be hard. Instead of giving them an allowance, teach them to earn money, because no one just gives us money, right? That would be nice. But teach them to earn money. But not only that, then show them what to do with it. I love the envelope method. I usually have my clients make envelopes with their kids as a project. Save, give, spend. Every time someone gives them money for anything, give it to them in dollars and teach them how to separate it and break it down, so that they learn early every dollar that comes in does not have to go out.
That makes a lot of sense. Is that in your book?
It is in the book.
What about dating and money?
Oh, where do you want to start? There's so much there.
Let me ask you this. If you're going out on a date, who's supposed to pay? And should you go Dutch? And should you save the money next time? Or, you know, it's all confusing.
I think it's all a personal preference. But I will say this for dating couples. You know, I say this on the Steve Harvey Show all the time. If you've been dating 90 days, he says that's long enough to get the cookie. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
I say that's long enough to talk about cash and credit. It's time to start having that conversation.
Even if you don't think you're going to be with them long term?
Well, 90 days, then why are you there 90 days later?
You're right. After that long,
You know, but it's just time to have the conversation. And the conversation isn't how much do you make and what's your credit score. That's what we get confused. The conversation might be, hey, what did you learn about money when you were growing up? Like, what are some of the principles that your parents taught you? What does money mean to you? What are some of your beliefs around money? And because when you understand that, it lessens the ability to have conflict, right?
Well, let me ask you this. Can you teach them, though, if, in fact, they don't have the same beliefs about saving, et cetera, that you do? Can they be taught?
In the book, I talk about, especially for us women, Real Money Answers for Every Woman, we can't make a man better with money. I always say, ladies, let's not nag. What we can do, though, is be a good example. So we can't require from someone else what we don't do ourselves.
Yeah, well, a good example like that with your kids as well. Definitely. So there is a way to turn things around. You think you need a little bit of help. Do you think that, if you're really in debt, how long will it take you to get out of debt? That's a
Well, one of the first
tricky
things you have
question,
to, yeah, it is, because it depends on how much debt you're in, what your earning is, and how committed you are to the process. But in the book, I actually go through very simple steps. The first thing is you have to know your numbers. A lot of us can't get out of debt because we don't even know where we're starting. We're fearful to open the mail. We're too scared to talk to our creditors. We don't want to, you know, put the numbers on a budget because budgets are bad somehow. But really, it's about understanding what money is coming in, what's going out, and then saying above and beyond my minimum payments, I'm going to allocate this much money to not just debt, because you can actually try to pay off too much debt, also to savings. So if you have an extra $50, now that additional $25 goes to debt.
So you can save while you're in debt?
You have to, because if you don't, and an emergency happens, or an opportunity comes up, you'll be right back in debt. And I don't want us to be dependent on credit
that
either.
That all makes sense.
Yeah.
Get that book. I like that book, Patrice. Thank you very much. You can find her book, Real Money Answers for Every Woman, How to Win the Money Game with or without a man or even a woman. It's in stores or online at realmoneyanswers.com. Thanks, Patrice.